on, guys? Pools React here with a review for you. So things are gonna have to change on Friday. Sadly, as much as I cut out, we tried watching reactions to Teen Wolf like I normally do with Once Upon a Time and Scrubs, and a few days later, the studios would come in and block the video. So we broke it down and we started doing just key points to the episodes and then reviewing afterwards. And same thing's happening, guys. No matter what I do, a few days later, the studios are coming in. They're putting a claim on the video, and it's blocking it on YouTube. No matter what we do, it's not YouTube doing it. It's the studio itself. It is Teen Wolf, where the studios that are responsible for making the show, they just don't want it. I've actually looked into YouTube, and you don't see a lot of Teen Wolf reactions, and I think that is why, is because the studios won't allow it on YouTube. So unfortunately, going forward from here, guys, we're gonna have to just do reviews on Fridays of Teen Wolf. I'll let you know my thoughts of the episode. You guys share, comment, stuff like that with. It's so hard to be a reaction channel dealing with claims and, having to avoid certain things just so that way, you guys are able to watch the content that we make. I've done everything I can. It's just some series, it just doesn't let me do it. Studios won't allow it. But anyways, let's get into this. We left off on episode 6. That's where we left off with the last review and reaction. So we watched episode 7. That's what we were on now. Before we get into this review, just a quick note, guys. Also, just so you guys know, if you want to watch reactions to this, if you want to see the full episode reactions, you can join my Patreon. The link is down below in the description. You can watch it for as little as $2 a month. You get full episode reactions, unedited, uncut. It's the entire thing. So that's one way to watch it, guys. I might even think about doing... I don't know how interested you guys would be in this. Make sure you leave a comment below about this. I might even stream the reaction to the episode live on Twitch. And then, because with Twitch, I'm able to delete the video as soon as I'm done watching it. And then, of course, just, do the reviews on YouTube. That might be something I might do from here. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. Maybe hopping over to Twitch on a certain day of the week when I decide to watch these episodes, and you can watch it live with me. And if you miss it, well then if you're not there, you miss it, then you could just come and watch the review on YouTube. Or like I said, as always, guys, Patreon, $2 a month. You get full episode reactions to the show itself. So let's get into this. Episode 7, Night School. Let's talk about the stupidity of this episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was probably so far my least favorite episode of the entire season. It had a lot of stupid moments. There was a lot of dumb things going on. I didn't agree with. I don't like it. Some of you might agree. Some of you might disagree. I mean, we all have our opinions with the series. There's certain things that we may like. Other people may not like it. I'm probably one of those. I have a very... don't know how to describe it. I have a very weird taste in what I enjoy. What I think works, what I think doesn't work. But let's get into this episode. We left off with episode 6 where Derek... and then we're at the school. They called for the Alpha, and the Alpha ended up showing up, stabbing Derek in the back with his claws, and then threw him away. And of course, this is after kidnapping Scott's boss. So it's alleged to believe that Scott's boss is the Alpha because he's no longer in the car, and suddenly the Alpha appeared. So they run into the school at the beginning of episode 7, and like I said, there's just a lot of things that I don't agree with. One, Styles locking the front door with a wrench, a pull-away crescent wrench, or bolt cutters, actually, I think is what they were, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, bolt cutters. He just opened it up, put the handles on both sides. It's not gonna hold. I like the fact that he addressed that when Scott asked him if he thought it was gonna hold. He said probably not. Yeah, it's not going to against a werewolf like that, especially that size. It's just it's not. I think that was about the funniest thing I had seen throughout the entire episode. but it was just at the same time, it was just like, come on, what are you doing? So they get into the school and everything. Everything is they're running from the Alpha is what the entire episode is about. The Alpha is there trying to get Scott, and they're running throughout the school. They're trapped inside. It's just a lot of Scott and Styles in the beginning running around, playing with the Alpha basically. Like they're hiding from him, but when he gets inside the school, it's a lot of playing after that. Styles is trying to see him, see what he looks like, stuff like that. Trying to act brave. Um, you know that kind of aspect. That was a lot of that in the beginning, and then we switched towards Allison, of course, and she gets a text from Scott apparently, and to meet him at the school. So she ends up there. What I don't like is how quick. This is one of the other things I don't agree with. When Jackson and Lydia show up, which I'm fine with, they all had plans apparently to go out. Scott was supposed to pick up Allison, didn't show up, so Jackson and Lydia ended up giving her a ride to the school to meet Scott, like his text said. What I didn't like was how quickly Jackson switched from Lydia to mess. Like you could see the flirtations with Allison, and I was just like right in front of Lydia too. And I get Jackson's an asshole. I understand that he is, but like I said, it was just so quick how like he switched women technically. What he was feeling, and he was trying to show all this concern for Allison and that he cared. And it was, I don't know if it was because of the fact he's trying to get under Scott's skin or if he's genuinely interested in her. But I don't like how fast he went from, not really caring about Allison to how fast he switched. And it's just like all of a sudden, this episode, he's like, oh, I'm worried about you, and, all this other stuff. And it was just, and especially the way he was treating Lydia throughout the episode. It was just, it was one of those things. I just don't, I don't like it. I didn't agree with it. But yeah, Allison ends up in the school. Scott and Styles meet up with her. Scott tells her that he wasn't the one that sent her the text. So who sent Allison the text? We don't know. Probably the Alpha, just to get her there. Trying to get everybody there, apparently. And now they're all trapped inside the school, every single one of them. Running from the Alpha, everybody's freaking out, like, who's trying to kill us? What's going on? Scott passes the blame on Derek. I understand that because Derek is, we don't know the state of Derek. Is he alive? Is he dead? Where is he? So yeah, I mean, I get Scott trying to cover himself. I guess it seemed more like a cover up story, so that way he didn't have to explain what was going on. It's just Derek's trying to kill them. Um, so I mean, passing the buck off to Derek. I was okay with it. I agreed, um, because he's not really that close to Derek, and he's still kind of the fall guy. He's always like the guy to blame. Um, and like I said, I think it was more just just to pass the buck off, so that way he didn't have to explain to Allison and them what was going on, why the Alpha was there, why he was after him, type of deal. And really, the only thing that was left in the episode was them trying to get out of the school. I mean, that's really all it was trying to avoid the Alpha and get out of the school. The one thing, that's the other thing I don't like either. One of the other things I didn't like was when Lydia was talking about making the Mazel Tov, or the Mazel Tov bomb, when she was mixing chemicals together in order to, help Scott. Um, you know, Jackson not giving her what he needed, or what she needed to make it. And you can see it was intentional. Why did he do it? That's what I want to know. Why did he do that way? I mean, that's kind of my thing. I don't really. I want to like I don't get it. I don't understand if he was testing what Scott is, or like he has some kind of clue. He's like, well, maybe but that could have got him killed. and that's kind of a bitch move on Jackson, in my opinion. I really do. I think it was a bitch move on Jackson, especially considering how much he was flirting with Allison beforehand, and then all of a sudden, doing this so that way Scott either gets hurt or killed or something like that. It was really a bitch move, in my opinion, from Jackson. Um, so, I mean, and you saw it in the end. It didn't work anyways when he did throw it. I'm ready for Lydia to stop playing dumb. That is one of the things I would love for them to stop. They need to stop her playing dumb. I get it. I enjoy the storyline of it. I mean, the arc, and she's this popular schoolgirl. She wants to like everybody think that she's not really smart because nobody's gonna like her, type of deal. They're gonna change how they feel. But I really think that they need to show the smarts of Lydia more. I think they need to start pushing this to where it changes. They need to change the dynamic and where they're going with it. They need to hit that intersection and take a sharp turn. Is basically where I'm going. But yeah, I mean, and that was pretty much it. I mean, the Alpha showed up. So Scott ends up locking them all up in a classroom. And, Allison's mad because he's leaving them, which I understand. But at the same time, he's got to do what he's got to do. He knows that. They don't know that. Only him and Styles knows that, of course. But Scott locks him in the classroom to go get the keys from the janitor who had died earlier in the episode from the Alpha. And it was one of those, like, the muzzle tooth didn't work. So the Alpha ended up on top of Scott, roared at him, and forced him to change, which I completely agree with. I loved that concept. The Alpha forcing his Beta to change is true. It's a thing. Alphas can make, their wolves, the people in their pack change at will if they want to. I really like that. But then he just left him alone. That's all he did. He changed. He made him shift, and then he just left him. And it left Scott in a vulnerable position to where he went back to the classroom and was standing at the door. He had that temptation to kill them. And I kind of think that's where the Alpha was going with it. And it's clarified in the end, of course, when Scott's talking to Styles after they get out of the school. And it was one of those, like, he's just like, why didn't the Alpha kill you, when he had the chance? Or why didn't he kill any of us, really? And Scott told him, he made him shift. And his idea is that the Alpha wants Scott to kill he's got to get rid of his old pack in order to be a part of the new pack with the Alpha. And the old pack being Styles and Allison, like his friends. Completely agree. I mean, I thought that was an interesting thing to it. Thought that was a really interesting tell. And then we see that the boss is okay. Scott's boss is okay. He's in the back of an ambulance after the Alpha magically disappears. So it still leaves that question: who is this boss, and is he the Alpha? Because it's pointing in that direction. But like I said, I think that is too obvious. I don't think it's him. I really don't. I don't think it's him. I think that's a too obvious giveaway. I think it's somebody else. So we'll just have to wait and see. There was no mention of Derek. And one of the things I didn't like was that Jackson and Lydia were by Styles' van. And there was no mention of Derek. I don't know if he had gone. I don't know if he healed up, ran away. But remember, the Alpha threw him right there against that wall next to the Jeep. So it's like, why didn't they see him? So I'm guessing most likely he moved or something happened. But they didn't even acknowledge any of that. So I don't know if Derek is still alive or not. We don't know. I figured the question was probably going to be answered this episode, but it wasn't. So it's still leaving you hanging, wondering what's going to happen. The other thing I didn't like was Allison at the end. Allison telling Scott, I understand why she did it. She was scared. He left her alone. he locked them all in a room and he went off to play hero. Um, she ended up breaking up with him. So I like the fact that how fast they put them together, but how fast they broke them apart was just like, okay. So now Scott and Allison are no longer together. They're not a thing. I'm curious where that's going to lead, guys. I really am. Like I said, there wasn't a lot in this episode. It was just a very, I feel like it was just like a filler type episode. It had no real thing besides the fact of the Alpha forcing Scott to change, uh, to tempt him to kill his friends. That's the only thing that made any sense throughout the whole episode. Other than that, it was like I said, it was just a lot of running around, stupid things happening, a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. It was just, it was a very boring episode to me. I don't know if you guys agree or what you thought about the episode. I mean, like I said, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about the episode. But I personally, it wasn't one of my favorites. It's probably my least favorite of the season so far. Hopefully the next episode will pick back up like it's supposed to be, which is episode 8. And we'll see where it goes from there, but that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, there's not a lot to review on this. A lot of this is just me talking. I mean, that's honestly all it is. In all, as a whole, the series is moving along great. I like how Scott is coming to realization of what the Alpha wants, how close he is to getting what he wants, if he keeps pushing him the way he is. So, is Styles and them safe around Scott right now? Scott may have to make a decision. Does he want to be around anybody currently at this moment? But we'll have to see where it goes. Like I said, Scott and Allison are no longer a thing. It seems like Jackson and Lydia are kind of on border too. I mean, there's just a lot of hostility there. It was very weird. Like I said, Jackson is flirting with Allison now, and it is what it is. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all it was. It really was. That was it. So, guys, like I said, just a reminder, if you guys want to watch full reactions of this series, it is on Patreon for as low as $2 a month. The link is down below. Like I said, leave a comment. Also, let me know if the Twitch idea may be a good thing. If I can get my Twitch to work, I'd have to see. I don't know how my stream would hold up, honestly, because I'm in an area with internet connection that's not the best for streaming. It might hold out. I don't know. I haven't really tested it, but it is an idea. If I do get it to work, we may pick a day out of the week to do Teen Wolf reactions on Twitch. We'll watch it live together, and then I'll just have to delete the video, and then we'll turn around. And those who missed it can come back, of course, here, and we'll do reviews of the episodes. But that's the way it's going to have to work going forward, because the studios just won't allow me to have this up on YouTube. So it's just going to be reviews here going forward. Community Discord also down below. If you do use Discord, please consider joining our server, our community, and come and chat with us about Teen Wolf and all these shows that we do on YouTube. I love to hear from all of you guys, and it's the quickest way to chat with me directly and immediately. So outside of that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it's very strange. I don't do reviews really. I'm more of a reaction, so this is going to be kind of new, like strictly reviews, especially talking about the whole episode. But yeah, guys, we'll be back with a review for episode 8. Until the next time, until the next review, we will see you then.